Hey guys, okay, so here is a 371 that was blown up. Here is the piston. Still need to find out if it was an air leak or if it was straight gas. My buddy, Guy Smith, he was given this saw and he wanted me to make it into a runner. So, as in important polish and everything. So, and where we're at now is timing advancement's been made. The piston is where I want it to be. As far as being a pop-up and everything else, the gasket's been cut out for the chambers, which we can bring to here. The base cut is cut down about 69. There's quite a bit. So 69 thousandths on that one. And then, the roughed up and also degreed where I wanted it on the intake and the exhaust. Has all been taken care of too, and then the inside transfers are sitting where I want to have them. Of course, then taking that much off, you had to cut around that skirted area to make sure it's right. And a little bit of the transfers were done a little bit, and then of course matched up, like I mentioned. So that's taken care of. And then when you do the exhaust, you got to make sure that the gasket and the heat shield are going to be flowing correctly, along with. So it got a big monster porthole for that one, and this one's been enlarged. And then, of course, this has to be, this one's going to be enlarged also, so it has the correct flow coming out of the exhaust. And, after that, we still got to do a carb rebuild. We got a kit right here. What else was done? I can't think of anything else that was done on top of that, other than make sure, there goes a bolt. Make sure this was lined up correctly too. Oh, when you take off that much, where the exhaust, where you have, I have the ring on it now, so it's gonna be hard, but there's a lot of cutout you have to do. So as you can see right here, this, I'll point to it right here, this used to be quite a bit higher, probably in this area, but that will not work, not when you take that much off. So you're gonna have to do some modifications, which is no big deal. We just grind away and bring this down until it finally fits correctly. And that's basically it. All the over here, as you can see right there, that's where everything's done as far as the milling goes on Logan 400, which works just fine. These guys have certain bits for it, but then of course that's where, for your cylinder and stuff as far as those dowels go. But and then, the shaving and everything else that gets done over there. So, all my numbers, I'm not going to share my numbers right now, but all the numbers that I wanted are there for this guy. My degrees, right here, all of them taken care of. The degrees have been taken care of. This is actually a 372, which I guess is pretty much the same thing. So now it's a matter of putting it all back together, other than doing the carb, just to make sure that, because, you're looking back at like the 19, what was it? 1997. So got to put the new carb in the kit, and then somewhere I got, so I got to put the bearings in, and the wrist pin is actually, new wrist pin is in there. But I got to put these in. You got to put these in too because of age. You just got to make sure that this thing's going to run correctly. Find out what happened as far as the exhaust, or not the exhaust. I'm sorry. What happened? Why it was straight gassed, or if there's an air leak. Figure out what I was practicing on this one, so it was no good. Before I did this one right here, and then after that, we're gonna fire it up and get the carb all ready to go and do a video on it. All right. Thanks for watching.